So as promised, we're sort of going to be looking at a group, how we progress them through the level 1-2 exam. I had the privilege of skiing with them a little bit yesterday. It was first day, etc. There's a few things going on. So we didn't start teaching yesterday. But what I did do was I just started to ask them to search for like a middle position, to look for feelings within their feet, that they're aware of where they are positioned on the ski. This is why we mentioned just for now middle position. And I kept reiterating these feelings and just try to tune in a little bit. Try not just to ski around with no idea of what's going on except you're going left and right. But on top of that, what I started to introduce was a different way of tackling things. So you've seen before on a YouTube video where I've passionately put across like a sort of maximum range of movement drill that helps in so many ways and changed people's skiing exponentially by just one exercise. But I want to point out from my side as a coach, it would be wrong for me just to start every group the same way. So what I want to do here is show you that I'm going to start this group in a completely different orientation and tackle their skiing differently to what I've done before on YouTube video. And in this case, I'm going to focus on the output of the turn shape. So if we look at the video, and I'll cut it in from yesterday with their skiing, particularly you'll see with the girls that there's a lot of this heel steering going on, like a hockey stop action. They're rushing all the movements of the turn to get across the fall line too quick. And I'm going to pick up when I get on the piste, explaining about that to them and explaining about the shape of the turn. And hopefully through just the output of the turn shape and line, I'm going to be able to improve their inputs massively. So let's pick up with the group. See you up top. So guys, after yesterday, you're going to see on the video that with the turn shape idea, it was important that you understand that a lot of you are coming around the turn with a ski and heel steering. So the ski would flick round really fast. Now what that does is it builds up pressure really rapidly across, and the ski becomes like an anchor in the snow. It grabs the snow, there's a huge spray of snow like a hockey stop, and it makes it really difficult with your upper body because you've got an impact coming through your upper body that you've got to control. Now, whereas we saw some of the skiers in the group were much more smooth and everybody could see it, they would go, oh, it's a really smooth turn. The only difference was these people would allow themselves to toe steer more, if you like. They would allow the skis to follow a path where the tail of the ski, the end of the ski, does not overtake the tip too fast. So it comes round in this way. So I said what we're trying to do is we're trying to tuck the tail in. When we initiate the turn, flatten the ski off here, and we initiate the turn, we don't want this action where the pivot point of the ski is forwards here too far and the ski pivots round from here really fast. We really wanted the ski tail to remain tucked in, tucked in, tucked in, tucked in, and not overtake too much. Now, one of the girls said, I feel like I'm getting a bit of an acceleration, like it gets quite quick when I do that. And I said, that's good. Because speed is our friend, and if we want to move inside the turn and start to carve the skis, as we'll need to do for the exams, I cannot carve the skis if I'm standing on top of them. I need speed so I can lean more and more and more inside, and if I want a higher edge tilt above the fall line, okay, I want a higher edge tilt up here, I need to get my center of mass and the outside ski further apart. Yes, there'll be a bit of an acceleration because you're going downhill. Of course, there's an acceleration, but we'll control it with our carving turn or our good style turn in the second part here. But we need a bit of rhythm and flow to do that. So we're trying to tuck the heels in. We're going to ski and we're trying to stop the heels from doing that, which I said makes you rotate, it makes you stand up, it makes you twist. Instead, we think, no, tuck the tails in, tuck the tails in, tuck the tails in, keep tucking the tails in. And now I can steer. Okay, get the idea? Right, we're going to do that then, let's go. Cool. So Geri, what are you thinking? Shock horror. Geri's like, do you like the fact that, I think the first thing, do you agree, I said I don't always do the same thing with every single group just because it's worked in the past.
Yeah.
You've got to be careful not to just think, oh, it always works, and then I'll just track myself. I think you've got to experiment all the time and learn yourself.
Yeah. No, you're right. So that every group needs another point how you grab in new exercises or new feelings. And in one group you have to try 3 different ways because it's a group. So if you have 2 people who's looking on the same, then you are good. But you have to give more possibility to get this feeling, and also with the explanations, because the imagination is like, it's not that real what I say, that what they understand from the stuff. So other pictures, other imagination, how it feels, how it looks like, how we can imagine what's actually going on. This, so that's a good point. And I saw this video, really nice, and we talked about that the first days the sternship is like, you have 10 people, no, not 10 people, you have only 6 people, yeah. But 6 different turnships, and you have this common mistakes that just don't get any speed. So if they start a turn, immediately they want to break down, and it's not a turn, it's just a breakdown and then traversing the slope. And of course, because if quick movement, there is no possibility to move, so build up some range of movement, because they just maybe stand up quickly and then they want break down the whole speed. So it's not a flow in this movement, it's not a run movement then anymore. So the first thing to start with turn shape, okay, how to do this is definitely a good point. With the explanation, I work more with the tip. So I did it a little bit another way, because I think that first we need a good finished turn, let's say the basic position or whatever called. It's not a position, but in that point we need this edge, we need some position, some lower center of mass to be able to initiate the turn. And I work more a little bit on this edging part, that the people has to catch the edge end of the turn, whatever they do. So it's no problem.
You're on about between the end of the turn and the initiation, the start of the turn.
Yeah, because if you're not on the edge, so it's not an edge grip somehow, depends, no radius, whatever. If it's not a grip, you have nothing to release. So the rhythm is away, the control is away. So I tried more to start from the end of the turn, because the end of the turn is actually the beginning of the next turn. So if I say this is a cyclical movement, then I started that way, the whole process. The turn shape is definitely one thing we try to control in the first days. Just get around turn, just calm down. You don't have to say, oh, what we told this video is right, that they need speed. And this fear from speed, from acceleration, just take away. Also, they are sometimes not sure that is it good or is it a mistake. And make it clear that if you turn in direction of the fall line, you get speed. So you accelerate the skis, and we learn how to control it in the second part. Absolutely, yes. Skiing is a sport that goes from the top in the valley, so downhill. And we play with this acceleration and the breakdown, so the slow down movements, let's say, actions.
Yeah, because I think when we watch the group go down now, one thing that I'm consciously trying to do is demonstrate to the group behind me that there's not, for me, the safety issue of let's just have them making nice controlled turns, steering first, because we have them for a long time, and not having a sensation of rushing the first part of the turn. So Jessica here has that tendency to heel steer
quite strongly, and that's why I was concerned about that. Like you say, people who are stacked dynamically lower anyway have a better success at this exercise straight away. Although I was careful not to speak at this stage like I normally do. I normally harper on about this low dynamic stance. I wanted to experiment with something different. Let's just look at the turn shape. Let's just see if I can get this whole group turning similarly, and then see what happens from there. And I'm not, with Dylan, at this stage, I'm not worried about him tipping in. I'm not worried about him rotating, because I can't fix everything with every group.
One day is not possible.
Exactly.
We are not here for
No.
1 day. So this is
Same here. I just want him and all the other people to look same. They'll all do different ways of solving the problem of how am I going to make the turn shape happen. But I don't want to go like, feel like a lot of instructors look and go, oh, you're rotating, you're tipping in, your hips are back, and all of a sudden now it's not the task anymore. The task for Jessica was not to heel steer, was to try and just bring the skis round at a normal pace. And that's, on the second video, we sort of get a feeling of that happening and watch them do it. You see that? This girl here I cut in to show, she's not actually in my group, but this is what we mean by heel steering, really, don't we? And we see this all the time, this heel steering. Now, when the steeper run, Geri, I took them onto a steeper run where they now had practiced for one run, making rounder turns and just coming around a bit slower. And I think visualization is really good. The instructor really needs to demonstrate exactly what they want. So let's have a look. If you could have a look at each one of them and see what you think now. Just a little bit quick.
Yeah, let's quick down. But actually, with this heel steering or just flip, it's a way. What in the first time definitely it's hard. If you say, okay, dig the heel in, then for example here, you start the turn already in a back heavy position.
Right.
So it's not a back seat, it's a back heavy position on the hill. What means that the ski, it's hard to flip immediately.
Yeah.
But in the danger that they get middle of the turn, just anchored in the heel and the ski goes forward, if they catch the edge, is way higher. That means that it can happen that they land in a really back heavy.
Yeah.
Not the back seat. For the back seat you need to bend the legs too much. So the back heavy position is out of balance when the ski goes forward, because if the ski catch the edge, it goes forward immediately, and of course if it's pushed by the heel, then it happens earlier. This is a nice turn, I think. That Dylan has this nice shape, he has longer skis on, so if I'm looking just the skis, what they're doing is nice parallel, and coming at the same time in the turn, and same time released.
And it's amazing how turn shape affects, you know, like you say, he looks smoother, he looks quieter.
This is it. So it looks more balanced.
Yeah.
We see
even
that
though it's not quite balanced.
even if you see that it's okay in the back heavy.
It's the same with Jessica there. You know, she's terrible at heel steering at first, but we look now on this steep, icier red run, she's starting already to think about it in the first day of just being calmer at the start of the turn for her.
And this is it, just calm down.
Yeah.
Just don't...
Middle.
Yeah, just give some time to the ski that starts to work, give some time that you go in the turn, and you have the time to switch on and steer the turn and finish the turn. So get some shape and get some faces in the turn.
Yeah, so my whole output here was, with the group here, was just really focusing on turn shape in different ways and giving them different tips, just to try and calm down a few of the girls who are really rapidly pushing the ski out. And I think, you know, for me, I found that's all I wanted on the first day. Could they feel their feet? Could they feel if their impulsive movement was too rapid at some point? Was it more even and spread out the impulse of movement and not rushed. Because let's face it, this is just a nice, easy parallel turn. Yes, it's fairly steep, this run, but this is what I wanted to see. Because now I feel I have a group that I can work with. They're safe. They're not going to crash into each other. They can all steer. The girls who are flicking are not flicking as much. Yes, again, we'll point out the guys who are rotating and stuff, it doesn't work. But then, yes, I will, don't get me wrong, I will get them to follow me, you know, like here. And what I did here, Geri, was I took down 3 of them behind me to follow my turn shape. And then I sent Joe with the others because he's fairly good. And there's nothing wrong with asking a student who you feel confident with to also lead part of the group down. Because as we know, the person behind me gets the best benefit, and after that it can sometimes be a bit falling apart. But look, this group looks great. But this is, you know, just going into early afternoon, and I feel happy and confident that I now have a group of people that I can now take forward to the next steps.
So definitely, if we look at this, the turn shape improved because you give the turn shape. So you demonstrate your turns with the all movements and the range of movement, and at some point they start to pick up that, okay, this is what we want. This is the arc what we have to draw in the snow, and this is it. And that's it, what we talked about, how to solve the problem is first of all just get and give them the chance to be aware, okay, this is the line I have to follow, and I have to make my turns, and I don't want to flip the ski and slide the whole drawn line, completely clear the slope. I want to follow.
Yeah, and basically with, like, let's say if you were to follow Lewis Hamilton on an F1 car, follow behind him, and if you're following him exactly on that line, you must therefore be steering the same as him, you must be braking the same as him, etc. So what I'm trying to do here is, without mentioning body management and mechanics of, oh, you need to tilt this, you need to edge this, you need to go up and down or whatever, I just said, look, it's a line issue, it's an output. You just need to match the outputs with each other, and now we can ski as a group, whether it's long, short or whatever. And then we stepped forward, and guys, you'll catch up on the next one and see what happened after that.